Hello, everybody, and welcome to this Fast Systems and Mirasys webinar. So I'm really glad to have you here as attendees today to this first joint webinar of the company's Fast System, one of our partners, and Mirasys itself. So before we start, I would like to ask you if you have any questions during the presentation or during the demo, please put them into the Q&A part of your application or of your browser windows so that we can answer them either during the presentation or at least at the Q&A session at the end of this presentation. So yeah, let's start. So first of all, I would like to present the presenters today. So my name is Udo Schneider. I'm the Sales and Business Development Director at Mirasys. And together with me, I have Bernd Drescher. Bernd Drescher is the Vice President Sales at Fast Systems. So he will present today the Fast Systems solution in detail and talking about Fast Systems. And then we have also Carsten Trischer here. Sorry. Carsten, you will call yourself your surname. The Managing Director of Fast Protect GmbH in Germany. So yeah, let's talk. Let's start with the presentation. Bernd, that's your choice right now and your session.
Yes, thank you so much, Udo. Very pleased to have you on the call. And yeah, I would like to take the opportunity to present to you our company as well as our Terra for the Intelligent Centralized Security Management platform. And yeah, basically, let's start with an overview about our company. So we are active since more than 25 years, and we have always been working on advanced security technologies. Udo, can you please move on? To the next slide. Okay. And we started our venture 1995 with the development of one of the first digital video management systems. Since now more than 12 years, we are focusing on the development of the Terra 4D platform. It's a vendor agnostic integration management and visualization platform. And we see ourselves as a Swiss-German technology supplier that is working with local partners in order to realize really huge, large-scale installations, and we are active on a global scale, as you can see, starting from Asia, Middle East, Europe, Africa, as well as Americans. And the second approach we are taking is that we act as an OEM supplier. For example, we have been supplied our products as OEM products through Honeywell, Siemens, and Mitsubishi. Next slide, please. Yeah, through our capabilities in the Terra 4D platform, we are able to address the requirements of really demanding customers. And today's session, we will focus a little bit more on safe and smart cities. But of course, we are able really to customize through available modules the requirements from other vertical markets. It could be border protection, public safety, but as well as smart facilities like stadiums, shopping malls, big government buildings. We are also very active for serving customers in critical infrastructure and transportation. And a special focus from our side is on providing end-to-end solutions for professional UAV pilots, and also the other part, providing command and control center solutions for counter UAV systems. So the idea behind Terra 4D is very nicely illustrated on that image. So you have in today's world a lot of different technology suppliers, many different technologies, and every month you're going to see new ideas, new products hitting the market. It's really great. And I think if you think about pilots in an Airbus or in an aircraft, they really are being challenged to keep control about all the different subsystems. And we see ourselves as a software solution provider offering an umbrella solution, make it really easy to operate very complex system. But if you now go into the view of citizens of a large city, also increasing the confidence that the pilots have control about such a complex system. So we see ourselves being able to provide a unification platform that helps operators in command and control centers to really deal with all the use cases, incident and alarm scenarios. And we are acting based on the standard operational procedures as well local law requirements to make sure that the system is smart enough to deal with a lot of incidents automatically. And we are basically setting the foundation. Next slide, please, Udo. With a three-pillar approach. The first one is we are connecting to all available data sources. This could either be sensors or data sources. And we present the real-time information in a virtual 3D environment. This at the end, Udo, if you move on, hit the next button, provides superior situational awareness to operators in command and control center. Having also the central platform Terra 4D as a foundation is making it possible to selectively distribute data according to the user or organization access rights. The second pillar is making sure that the data is being processed automatically with our workflow engine. And we are able here really to reflect really complicated workflow procedures, also covering multiple organizations. And at the end, this is the smart approach. We are taking the information and we apply the rules, and the system is reacting as good as possible automatically to take away the stress from the operators. And the third pillar is the analytics portion, where we use the recorded information in order to visualize the current system status in static or interactive dashboards. We are able to provide ad hoc or frequent reports to the people, organizations who need to know about certain things. And a very great feature is also that we are recording the real-time information time synchronized. So irrespectively if this is an event detected via video content analytics or an access control event, everything is recorded time synchronized, and we can replace situations if this was happening 1 minute ago, 1 week ago, or 1 year ago. And if you go to the next slide, Udo, you're going to see a very simplified overview about the platform architecture. The foundation are the connected subsystems, so the sensors or data sources. We offer bidirectional communication with all the subsystems. So rather than just controlling them, we are also monitoring the status information and then can act based on the overall system architecture. The Terra 4D is a vendor agnostic platform. That means we can integrate with essentially any IP-based system as long as we have access to an SDK, clear understanding about the use cases, and also access to a test system. The Terra 4D platform is then the heart of the integration platform. We apply the rules, and we are also visualize the real-time information to operators in command and control centers, but we also prepare the information for field resources that use our mobile app. Next slide, please. On this slide, you see an example of a multi-site configuration. There are 3 different sites. Each site is connected with different subsystems. So that means the total number of data points varies from between site 1, 2, and 3. Our system is completely scalable. So that means depending on the amount of metadata created by the subsystems per second, we are able to add additional acquisition server resources in order to cope with the information flow. We also provide redundancy support, and each site can, of course, operate also autonomously as we have the configuration database hooked to the master server or management server. And then it doesn't really matter what is the client, if this is a video wall, an operator client station, or a mobile device like tablet or smartphone. Everything will be presented to the users depending on the access rights and the system status and the assigned task. Next slide, please. On this page, you have very nicely illustrated the key platform functionality. So the image on the right-hand side illustrates the GIS layers, and depending on the system status and the user access rights, only relevant information is being presented to the operator. We have a lot of great capabilities and features in our platform. My colleague Carsten Schritter will show you just in 2 or 3 minutes. And yeah, we have something that is really outstanding or differentiating to competitive solutions is the georeference video, including augmented reality. We also introduced 2 years ago a big data AI module. So that means we have an engine that is continuously crawling the recorded metadata for unusual patterns in order to make the system really smart. And we have also these workflow and interactive incident reporting. And since last year, we are actually compliant to an ISO standard, meaning we are able to really put into our system already available standard operational procedures, or we are able to design new operating procedures, and of course are able to quickly enhance and change these workflow procedures in case something is changing. Next slide, please. Yeah, overall, it's a very, very strong platform, highly flexible and customizable. And if you go to the next slide, Udo, it's just an illustration how municipalities are being set up today. There are still many different organizations, from the city administration, security and safety, so the police organization. You have the public transportation, you have energy suppliers, you have an organization for water and waste management. And here it's really key that you think beyond and what's coming in the next 10 years to have a central platform that is able to exchange the information between all the different organizations, but then still gain the benefit with the data exchange to make really the life more safer, more secure for the citizens, and offer additional services. So in Germany, where we live, I can tell you it's a pain. We are so many years behind, and I really hope that with the new government that is currently being negotiated, we will be able to make a big step forward in the digital transformation of Germany. And I'm now pleased to hand over to Carsten to give you a live demonstration.
No, first of all, I'm coming.
Udo.
Yeah, thank you, Bernd, for this lovely presentation. So it was very interesting for us, and I'm pretty sure for the auditorium as well, to see the capabilities that you have. And I'm very pleased to see then Carsten's presentation afterwards. I beg your pardon, Carsten, again for not pronouncing your surname in the correct way, but I'm a little bit nervous in that way, so forgive me.
I'm used to this. It's not
all right. Yeah, good. Yeah. Before we start with the demo, we need also to talk about Mirasys in a short sentence. So first of all, I would like to introduce you to Mirasys as well. Mirasys is a video management software provider, which is located in Finland. So we are now more than 24 years in the business, and actually we are feeling well with a lot of different customer requirements. So it does not matter for us really if we have customers from the banking and for financial institutes, city surveillance, or military installations. We have references at any kind of customer. So, and we are also feeling very well with the requirements, with different requirements that customers have from the point of video management system. So, how does Mirasys fit into this world right now? So Mirasys is providing an VMS that is a closed ecosystem, or very nice ecosystem, an open ecosystem. First of all, we have an integration with FAST. That means FAST has integrated our VMS, the managing and the control of all the video data that we are recording, into their own system, so they can replay the videos, they can manage the videos, they can interact with our system from that point of view in a bidirectional way. But more important for us is also that we, as the subsystem of the Terra 4D, are providing a video recording platform in the first stage. And video recording platform means also to be open to all kind of cameras that are available in the world. So it does not matter if it is a camera from an, let's say, very named provider, like Axis or Bosch or Hikvision or so. So we have native drivers. It does also mean that we need to take every kind of video streaming or streaming in general and record it on our system. Either it's coming from an from a drone or a body cam, from a webcam. Even a monitor of a PC, of a laptop can be recorded. And that's very important, so that every kind of video information that you can get from different resources can be recorded on a central point in a very sophisticated and very performed way. And that's the reason why we're working together with Mirasys and FAST System, because FAST System is using Mirasys as the sub-VMS platform in many kinds of different projects that we have. Open platform. That does mean also that we need to be open, either to be integrated or to communicate with third-party systems. And that's very essential for us today. So because no system, as Bernd mentioned today in his presentation as well, is standing alone anymore. So it must be a combined system. And so also a VMS platform must help, for example, and PSIM solution also to be more performant in that way, and also to help them to record data in a very sophisticated way. Why to work with Mirasys in that way? So first of all, we are one of the only independent platform, that means independent on any other manufacturer. So we are not owned by any camera manufacturer or so, and that's very important, because in that case we can act very flexible and we can be open to every kind of provider. Then we have a very focused team, so we are flexible in action and reaction to customer or partners' demands. We have a very flat hierarchy, so that means also we can do fast decisions based on the customer requirements or new features. And of course, we have a very small team, so in that case, we have also a personal passion behind the team. The team is customer focused. Then we are close to the partners and to customers. That means we are expanding our development resources also to the partners, so that they can do the integrations by themselves. So it's not folded to our development team. We deliver all the tools and resources that the customer or a partner can integrate us into their solution. And so we come to this customized solution at the end, and we are bundling our competencies together. So you can imagine if Mirasys would do this by themselves, we have also this small competency, but if we expand this to partners, to customers, so we can work together on that, and we have bundled competencies. Yeah, so how it is working. You see here a small picture of our architecture, so it's very simple. So we have normally our VMS servers here managed by a master server. Here you see it above. And this slave servers are simply made for doing the recording. The master server is made for handling the whole system and communicating with third-party systems. So, and exactly, if we are talking about an open ecosystem, this does mean that in any kind of access to the system or interfaces to the system, we need to present also these tools. Does not matter if you have third-party applications that you want to design by yourself to manage our videos from a different system, like FAST is doing this right now. Or if you have, for example, different management clients that you are using, if you want to see the videos on a different client application than ours, or even if you want to add additional devices, IoT devices, for example, today to be recorded, to be managed in our system, we're also providing here the interfaces to this. And that makes it very flexible and very open. Open platform does mean also that we are basing our total system, total architecture on communication standards, which are normal and standard in the IT world today. You see here that we are dealing with HTTP, HTTPS, with TCP/IP, with RTSP streaming. We are using XSD files for validation. We are working with proxy drivers, etc., etc. So you see, there is nothing that is really a secret behind this, and that makes us so flexible and our partners so flexible to interact with us. Yeah, at the end, it does mean that we can receive data, that we can send data in different kind of ways. So either via proxy driver, UDDs, a universal data driver receiving via TCP/IP. We have our APIs, our SDKs, so that we can interact together with our system to third parties. And that is exactly that what Carsten's team was using when they have integrated our VMS platform into Terra4D. At the end, we are also delivering some additional values, which are very important for today's business as well for the future business. So video content analysis is one of the key messages that we have today, that out of the bunch of data, you can analyze exactly what you want to see and what you want to get alarms on. But also I want to point out the customized AI, artificial intelligence modeling. This is coming more and more into the market, and the demands are very huge here. So that means that we are going beyond the video content analysis. So we are creating exact models of different behavior or the different behavior rules that you want to see. There are many examples today, so you can imagine that something that, if you are familiar with video content analysis, that's something that you cannot realize with VCA. You can realize maybe with a customized AI model, especially for you. And I think this is a huge and very fast growing market that we are concentrating on. Yeah. So this was a little bit about Mirasys and why we are the right partner for companies like Fast Systems. So I would hand over to Carsten right now to give us a live demo, and I'm very eager to see how your system is working.
Thank you very much, Udo, for the introduction. So I will share my screen now. I guess you are seeing my viewer application now. So I'm going directly into the software. And it was mentioned several times before. So our PSIM platform is based on a 3D GIS system. And this is the first topic I want to elaborate a little bit further. So we have in this configuration several scenarios which are coming from projects. For sure, we are using now either recorded sequences from the project or just demo data. So the first sequence is showing you a flight into the city of Munich. We are seeing the buildings coming up. We have some vegetation. So this is what you know from advanced GIS systems. We can also switch to other layers, like for example, an OpenStreetMap layer or Bing or ArcGIS layers, whatever is available in the projects. So the GIS layers can also be a mix of data which are located on your premise, on your server, or online layers. So especially when it comes, for example, to information like live traffic information, which I can show here as well, then for sure, as you can imagine, we need a live layer. This takes now some time. We are getting this from our ArcGIS server, and after some time, you are getting here the live traffic information as an additional layer on top of the satellite imagery. And beside this, we have, for example, the 3D buildings, which are a static layer on our server. So this is regarding the GIS model. So these are more or less the static GIS layer. It gives you the environment your project is located in, and it gives you the visualization of your projects. now we are flying into one project example, which is a music festival in Belgium, so a crowd event. And we see here immediately also you get the situational awareness. We have the main stage. We have now an integration in this project with video surveillance and Tetra radio devices of police and medical units. So the cameras are mounted in the 3D model. The video is projected directly into the 3D model, or you can see this in the traditional 2D view on the right side. You can also turn off the video, and then you see the tracks and the current position of the recorded units in the system for the police and medical units. So you have this situational awareness. You understand where are my units. You also, when you move the mouse over the video, and I do this in the lower right corner of the image, you get for every video pixel the longitude and the latitude. So this is what we call georeferenced video. This means with a simple click in the video, the map flies to the location and marks the location on the map. So we have a relation between a video pixel and a 3D GIS, so the real world location. Why is this important? I will show you an example directly exported from this project. So we see here other surveillance cameras, and we have the map view here on top. And one use case or one example here was that the operator was looking at the video, and he can now trigger an incident directly from the video in the background. Remember, we have this for this fireplace the young guys are doing, we have the coordinates based on our georeferenced video. So we can create now an intervention. So this means we want to send security forces to the incident location. So now we have triggered the start of this workflow for this intervention for the operator. The location is marked on the map. I can now start my intervention, select the closest units, which I cannot do now because I don't have live units there in the field. So I go to the next step in my workflow, and we are simulating now that security forces are approaching the location, which we did in this project live. And you see here the group of security guards coming to the incident location. In the meantime, I can, for example, add the video image to my incident report. So I get in my incident report a snapshot of the camera and the camera name and the timestamp, so I can always play back the video from the time. As an operator, I'm following up the situation. The security guards are clearing the situation, and when everything is solved, I will finish my incident. It's all recorded in the database. I can always look into the history of my incidents to play back all the details related to this incident. So this was one example, crowd event. I'm now switching to another example, which is a safe city. We are flying into the city of Rome. So we have several video cameras there again. We have an interface to public transportation. So we see the location of buses, for example, and we also have some field units on the ground where we can see the tracks on the map. So let's go step by step here. First of all, in city surveillance, where you have hundreds and thousands of cameras, again, this function of just, you see the monument in this upper right video. I can click directly on this monument. The map is flying to the location, and it's marking the exact location on the map. When I click on the left side of this place, then my location marker is moving to the left side. So this is the georeferenced video. How is this useful in city environment? Yeah, I can go, for example, to this building. I click in the video on the building and say, and ask the system to find the address of the building. So it takes longitude and latitude from the video image, and it returns the street, the house number, and the city. And with a click on the address, the map is flying to the location. I'm now at this location. I see the building. I can also turn on the 3D buildings if I have those GIS data available. and I see the camera, which I clicked before to get this address information. For sure, you can also do a forward search, so you type a fragment of the street or the city, and then you fly to the address. So an address database is completely integrated in both directions in terms of search. Then we have here on this video camera of the Colosseum a fake fire, so this was never happening. But again, the function that the operator can trigger incidents directly from the video can be very useful. So either you have a smoke detector here, then the system will automatically trigger an alarm, or the operator says, okay, I see this, I use my human intelligence, and I will trigger an interactive fire alarm, which is starting a workflow. This can be now also delegated to another group of users responsible for this type of alarms. And we have seen the system response. So the map is flying to the incident location. We see the location here. So we have to turn off one device here because it's always sending messages. And I see the closest cameras also. So I can use the zoom slider in my camera list to see more or less cameras sorted by the distance to the incident location. So this one is obviously showing this scenario. Again, now as an operator, I can provide details in my incident report. As far as this is available, I can attach a snapshot of my map and of the camera to the incident report. This is immediately saved. Can provide additional comments before I take the actions provided by my workflow now. So obviously I can alarm or not. Sorry, I have to disable this device quickly, otherwise you get continuous messages. This is from one of the mobile units here in the area. Just need to start the configurator, disable this resource, and then we should have silence. So I started filling the incident report. Once I'm sure there is really a fire, I can call the fire brigade, which is for sure a serious action. So this means before I collected all the information, it's saved to my incident. I call the fire brigade, and given that we have an interface to the fire brigade cars, we will see now the vehicles approaching the incident location. So as an operator, I can just follow up, use my map navigation, keep an eye on the situation, and once everything is solved, I have now the option to finish my incident. So the situation is cleared and the system is switching back to the normal surveillance mode. So this was one other example. Now I'm switching to some live cameras we have at our office building in Germany. So far, these were stored sequences in the system. So we see here on the right side 2 PTZ cameras and a fixed camera, and we have our office building where we see the mounting points for the cameras, the 3 cameras here at the building. So to give you an example here, how we control the PTZ cameras efficiently through the georeferenced approach. I can use a fixed camera, click on an object in the image, like for example this car, and both PTZ cameras will center on the car. I can use a zoom rectangle to zoom to the number plate of the car, and I can read the number plate. Sorry, this was maybe a bit fast. And this is what we call latency compensated PTZ camera control, because what we are doing in the background is that we send longitude, latitude to our georeferenced PTZ camera, and the camera is going to this object. This is even more on the map, by the way. You see that the field of view of the cameras is changing. So when I use the zoom, for example, then I get a wider field of view for this PTZ camera. And I can use also the map to center the camera onto different targets. So I use, for example, the multi-control on the map function for the PTZ cameras. Now I can click the corner of this building. Both cameras immediately go onto the target, and in the video you get the target centered to the camera. So especially when you have wide area network connections, maybe to remote sites, this is very helpful, because you just tell the camera the target coordinate and then you wait for the image. You don't have to use a joystick, which is complicated when you have more than, let's say, 300, 400 milliseconds of latency in your video. And for sure, also for the PTZ cameras, I get the longitude and latitude for the video pixels, and I can do all the operations we did before with the city of Rome example. Now let's go inside the building. So it's so far we have seen outdoor applications, and I want to show you now some insides of the building. So we have two cameras now on the right side, which are showing our meeting room. And I can use here, for example, the building slider to open and close the building floor by floor to see the devices which are in the different floors. So you see we have some smoke detectors here. We have a fire extinguisher device, and we have the two cameras in the meeting room. These are the cameras we see on the right side now. And in this room, I have some features coming from a building management system. For example, I can trigger the room light. I can do this directly in the video, because this is what Bernd has mentioned in his presentation, the augmented reality view. So all the items which are in the current field view of a camera are automatically displayed as an augmented reality view in the camera. So I can trigger the room light, and I get now the feedback in the camera that the room light was turned on. The same I can do for sure from the map. I have here the orange flashlight. I switch it on, I get the feedback immediately with the icon. And in the video, you see the flashing light here. Obviously, we have some delay in the video for the PTZ camera. Now it's coming. So, but the picture rate is relatively low. So it's quite easy for the operator to control all the items from the video overlay or from the map. It's up to his decision. I can turn off the field of view of the cameras to have a better visibility on the icons. Switch off the room light. The preset positions for my PTZ cameras are also showing all the items which are in line of sight of the PTZ camera. So you don't need to program. The pink one here is my PTZ camera. You don't need to program all the presets. When you have an I/O device or an access control point, a card reader or something in line of sight of the camera, then it will automatically pop up here in the preset list. And when I go to the orange flashlight, for example, the camera will go to this location and you have it centered to your camera. So this is quite helpful in terms of saving work during the configuration. Yeah, this was for the building. Then I'm switching to the next scenario, a totally different application, which is border protection. So we are talking about airborne surveillance now, and the fact that we have a 3D GIS system is very important there, because when we look at mobile cameras in general, not only airborne, also cameras mounted to vehicles, for example, or UAVs, then it becomes very important to understand what we see in the video image. The video image on the right side, and we have the visualization live from this project of the aircraft position, the historical track, and the field of view of the camera. And the camera is zoomed in now to a vessel on the sea, and we can now use the georeferenced approach, for example, to start first of all to fly to the location. Then the location is marked on the map, which is just showing the sea, but we can use the coordinate now, for example, to start an intervention for a Coast Guard ship, to send the Coast Guard ship to exactly this coordinate when we have a connection to the Coast Guards. I think this application is clear, and it's quite simple for the operator. He has the visualization on the screen, and we are defining the workflows of the different actions he can take. But he has, in this case, the very important situational awareness. How do we integrate with video content analysis? It was mentioned before that video systems for sure nowadays provide this. It's quite a standard. So here we have, for example, a basic moving object detection. This is the video we see here. We have the overlay in the video for the moving object. And based on our georeferenced approach, we can project the object to the 3D map. And we have the historical track. And now what we are adding to the video analytics is, for example, that our system understands, okay, there are two cameras close to each other. The object disappears in the first camera, appears in the next one. The timing and the location fits to our thresholds. So we can continue the two objects from the two different cameras as one object in our system. So the operator gets at the perimeter, for example, only one alarm for an intrusion and not two from two different cameras which are not related to each other. This is another example what we can do with the system. Then I'm coming to a field which is more related to integration of SCADA systems. So it's a critical facility here, an oil exploration site in the desert of Kuwait. And yeah, we have here, for example, the visualization of gates and road bollards. So you can use the items on the map to open the gate, to pull up the road bollard. So the operator has always the visualization on the map. He understands immediately what is the situation there. And we can provide for the guard at the gate a simplified application, which is giving him, for example, on a tablet, only the features he needs as a gate guard. So this means he can also close the gate. The operator in the command and control center sees this on his client. So this one here would be another client on a tablet, for example, or he pulls down the road bollards. So, and the same here, I was mentioning the SCADA system. We have different valves here, for example, to empty an oil tank. This is how we can visualize this on the map, or activate or deactivate, was already deactivated, different valves. This can go along with a SCADA user interface where you have maybe more functions, and some important functions like a general FCC shutdown in this project is available through our system, because this is relevant for alarm handling, for example. Also, what we see here are devices from a voice over IP system. So there is maybe a guard you can call here in this location from the command and control center. So you will find, instead of scrolling through contact lists, you will find an icon on your map. You can call the guard. The system has the number in the background or the ID of the device and starts a simple call dialog. So you can start the call and finish the call and use your headset. And the last example I want to show you is the perimeter protection, where we are involving now, beside the video surveillance, also radar devices and seismic sensors. So in the first example, we have a radar here. The radar detection area is visualized as a half circle here. It's detecting a car, and we are forwarding the coordinates to this PDZ camera. You see the camera here, and the camera is following the car. It starts again the sequence, so the car is arriving, camera is following, and the trigger here is the radar. So the same we do, for example, for drone UAV defense projects. The radar is detecting the object, and we use other sensors to verify the objects, for example, before the operator can take actions. On the other side of this perimeter, we have a seismic sensor. So the seismic sensor, as you know, gives us only an indication there is something. Sometimes you have a rough location, but we are utilizing now the video object detection, moving object detection. We get the exact position, and then we use this exact position for a PDZ camera to follow the object. You can see how this is visualized. So the power of our system actually comes when you have different types of sensors. We can combine the information. We can reduce the number of alarms, sometimes also false alarms, by combining the information which belongs together. And this is mainly based on the time, for sure, and on the location, but sometimes also on the object classification. So the size of the object, or is it a vehicle or a human being, kind of stuff like this. So this was it from my part. So I'm glad to listen to your questions, and for sure we can go into the one or the other scenario again to elaborate more deep. I touched a few points, different topics, and yeah, looking forward for your questions.
Okay, thank you, Carsten, for this very impressive presentation. Yeah, we would move like right now, sorry, into the Q&A sessions. And we have a lot of questions here. So the first is somebody is saying, okay, this is an excellent presentation. So I share my screen again so that you not see me in total. Sorry for that. Yes, all right. So this looks better. I'm not that bright. Okay, so the first question is really about the PDZ cameras. So is it essential that the PDZ cameras, if you georeference them, need to deliver the exact data, or is it also possible with, let's say, standard PDZ cameras which are not delivering the local data?
It's a very good question. So we are, when we configure a PDZ camera, we are positioning the camera during the configuration on the 3D map. So the camera gets on our side a location, longitude, latitude, and elevation. And then we are calibrating the PDZ camera. So the simple question, by the way, the simple answer to the question is it can be any PDZ camera. What we need in the camera, or what we prefer to have, is the absolute positioning function. So not only relative positioning.
Okay.
Because what we can say then during our calibration, okay, the pan position 0 degree is related to north. There is an offset of, let's say, for example, 40 degrees. So based on this is what we do in our calibration. We can now say, okay, the operator wants to see the east direction in the PDZ camera, then we are calculating the right pan angle, and we are pointing the camera to east. And this is for sure, it's done through the GUI. So when you have exact longitude, latitude, we can translate this into pan and tilt positions of the PDZ camera, and then we send those absolute values to the camera.
Okay. So I think it was, as I mentioned before, it was very impressive because I have a lot of business questions right now, so less that technical questions. So first of all, there was a question, okay, is it so that Mirasys is the exclusive VMS for your solution, or are you dealing with other VMS providers as well if they are existing? For example, if a customer has an already existing VMS system.
Yeah, for sure, we are open. Bernd, go ahead. I can answer it. Okay. We are open to support many video systems also side by side, and this is just a typical case in a project that the customer has legacy systems. When he is asking us, for example, can you recommend a video system for an extension, maybe a new airport terminal, then we are working close together with Mirasys. So we see the benefits of the Mirasys solution, and we recommend this, but we cannot overcome the legacy system. So we need to support this. And also during the demo I have shown, we have seen different types of video systems. This was sometimes cameras directly integrated through OnVIF and the live video streams only, or also Mirasys and Milestone, we have a system here.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Then there was another question that I can answer. So can this be bought by through Mirasys? I think in that case, your system, especially the solution, is that complex that we forward this request then to you, and you handling this. So this is nothing that Mirasys is selling actually. So in that case, this question is answered. Then there is another question for Bernd. So how big must a project be that it is interesting for you? Because he said that he sees very often that especially PSIM solutions are so expensive that it is not really gives not really a value, let's say, for a little town or something like that, or a small airport.
Well, what is a small airport? If this is just a private airport, yeah, I would echo it, but definitely for small, we have realized projects also for smaller municipalities. I think a PSIM solution always has a lot of benefits for the city authorities. If you talk about a number of cameras, 50 plus, and you want to also manage your police forces, your ambulance forces, we have always the idea to start small and then get the customer convinced about the benefits of our Terra 4D application, and then we can grow together with our partners and with the end customer. That means we have also commercially we are open to work out solutions that make it very attractive for also smaller airports and smaller municipalities to consider such an integration platform.
Yeah, okay. I think this is very essential that you are very close to the customer, because I can imagine that this solution, if you present this to the customer, it is creating demands and dreams which are overcoming the budgets that they normally have. So I think then it's very essential really to talk to them and really identify what they really need.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe just Udo to add one point here, because we see this in several projects. So when we start maybe with a security application and we start small, then the customer will suddenly realize, okay, I can use the same system and the workflow capabilities it has for non-related security tasks. And for sure, you can do this as well. This can be maintenance of devices, of fire extinguishers and stuff like this. So it's exactly the same software. So you can expand then this software to other stakeholders of the organization of the customer. And this way, you have other budgets available also. Oh, great. And it's, as a matter of fact, then it's a cost saver, and it's not like normally for security additional expenses.
Yeah. There's another question that is coming up here is asking, okay, is there are there capabilities or projects where you have done the control of manufacturing or production roads or something like that in industrial areas?
Yeah, we have seen this example of the oil exploration side. So we have not done something where we are 100% replacing the SCADA system, which is normally used for these types of tasks. So we don't want to do this, but we can deeply integrate with the SCADA system, and we can provide functions which are normally used in the SCADA system on our side, so that the functions are not used anymore on the SCADA system, but the SCADA has the connection to all the devices we are interfacing with the SCADA system, for example, through Modbus, and we can visualize several things and also provide actions to trigger tasks on the production system.
Okay, so I have 4 other questions that I would raise here. So one is, I think that can be answered in a very simple way. What's about pricing?
Pricing will be aligned to the project size, to the requirements. So we need to have a clear understanding. What are the systems that needs to be integrated? What's the number of data points? Are we talking about just 2 operator client seats, or is this a big project? For example, we are working with on a major project where the command and control center has, I think, 120 operator seats. So these are completely different sizes, and pricing is like you think about a car. It depends on the extras you want to have with the system.
Yeah. Okay, then Bernd, the next question is really here, is really related to this. He's asking, what's the business model to acquire the solution? I think this is more related to how it is licensed, or it is a concurrent business model or whatever.
Well, here again, we are a flexible company, so we are not Microsoft or SAP, where you have to take what we tell you. We are open to find solutions that are attractive to the end customers. We have one-time purchases, purchase licenses, or we can always also offer software as a service if this is desired. It really depends. So we again are flexible enough to work with our partners together.
Lovely. Okay. Then another question is, I think this is coming from one of the partners. Are you dealing via partners, certified partners, or are you dealing directly with end customers? What is your preferred model?
The preferred model is that we act as a technology supplier, and the end customer interaction is handled locally through our certified and trained partners, meaning system integrators. We also work with value-added distributors, but clearly we want to have local presence and direct interactions with the end customer. So that's something we cannot do, or we don't want to do.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Except one question, every questions are answered. I see so far. There was a question if somebody can Andre, was it okay? If he can download the presentation or the live demo. This video is, or this webinar is recorded. So that means we will also present this on our YouTube channel. So that you can replay it and download it and then review it at the end. Yeah, okay, so we are at the end of this webinar. So I say thank you to everybody who has attended. So I think this was an extremely interesting webinar, extremely interesting content. And I thank you also, I say thank you to Bernd and Carsten for your attendance and for your presentations. This was, as I said, very interesting, very fantastic. So I do hope that we could create dreams at our audience. And at the end, guys, if you really have any questions, additional questions, if you want to get in touch with us, with Fast Systems, please contact us. You see here info@fastsystems.ch or sales@mirasys.com. So we are in a very close partnership. So if you are coming to Mirasys and said, I want to get in contact with Fast Systems, we will hand you over to Bernd, or to Carsten, vice versa. So we are really glad to see your demands and to see your ideas and to work with you together on maybe coming projects. So at the end, thank you all. Yeah, I wish you a nice day, stay healthy, and see you the next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye. Bye. Thank you.